You have just witnessed something we have legitimately never seen before. No comeback has been larger than the one that we just all experienced together, 31 points. 94-63 with 7:30 to go in the third. Clippers battle all the way back. Lou Will with 36. Harrell had 15 in the fourth. The Warriors as a team had 23. Casey Stern, Derek Fisher, Jason Terry. You guys have been a part of a lot of games. We're going to go through all these plays, but let's kind of overarch at the front end. How do you try and put into words what just went on, and do you end up being more for the Clippers, or what in the world happened to the Warriors?
I think it was a combination of both, honestly. I think the Clippers deserve all of the credit first because of just the effort that they continue to give out. A lot of teams, as we've seen so far, even in this postseason, once the league gets so big, even in our first game earlier, there's no chance of coming back, and you see that in the effort. The Clippers' effort was the same the entire way. I thought for the Warriors, when Steph Curry picked up the fourth foul early in the third quarter, to me, that's where the momentum that Lou Williams mentioned, that's when it changed. And then the floor is smaller without Cousins, and the Clippers just continued to eat away and chip away. And like you said, we just witnessed history. You
know, one of the things that we talk about with the Warriors, we always discuss their ball movement, Jet, and their three-point shooting. But defense and team defense has been a calling card of this team. They allowed 85 points to the Clippers in this second half.
85 points. Montrezl Harrell does not miss a shot. Lou Williams was scorching hot. Now, don't get me wrong. Klay Thompson, the best defender we have in our league, he was contesting shots. Lou just had it going. Like he said, he was just hot. Everything was a blur to him afterwards. And realistically, they were the much more desperate team, down 31 points at one time, and they just continued to fight. Very resilient. Give credit to Doc and his coaching staff and the message he sent to those guys, and they responded to a man. They just outplayed these guys, and they deserve the victory tonight.
120-plus playoff games for Kevin Durant, first time he's ever fouled out. He's off the floor, but you're still in a spot with a chance to win. Let's take a look at the Shamet shot in a second. We'll look at the highlight first, as you've got Montrez and company going to work with just over 2 to go. At the time, putting us even. Lou Williams, what do we say in pregame? Nobody gets fouled like Lou Williams gets fouled. He puts that body in. Draymond not happy. Other end, now down 3. How about KD? Foul or not?
2 offensive fouls in the last 2 minutes by KD. He picked up his 5th. That there was the 6th.
More from Lou. Step back. Easy.
Sweet Lou.
We're back even at 128. Just over a minute to go. What's this shot? It's Steph from 3. Of course it goes down. 131, 128. Well, that had to be where you slow things down and everything's fine. But remember that whole Lou Williams, he can kind of get fouled whenever he wants thing? Well, he could also shoot. 36 in the game. Cuts it to 1 and puts us here. What happened defensively on this play, guys?
Well, they put 2 on the ball here. Gilgeous-Alexander penetrates. Iguodala, I think, mistakenly leaves Shamet. Draymond Green, too late in rotation, knocks down the 3. And again, we just witnessed history.
Couple of rough shot choice through the numbers as you listen to Doc Rivers. And I want to bring it, because I think this is important because we have you here, is you hear Doc saying, hey, we told him we're going to win, and you said, hey, that's what he does. That happened to you in a situation. Take us through that with Doc.
Yeah, in Boston, my first year, we're down 3-0 to the Knicks in the first round, and he's like, no, just one game. Just get one. And we look at him like, Doc, I mean, come on, we're down 3-0. Like, no team in history has come back from 3-0. He's like, no. And we win one game, and we win it. The next game's like, just tighten the screws and just get one more. But when he says it with so much passion and conviction that you honestly believe that you can do it. And I'm telling you, it's the same speech he gave the Clippers at halftime. He said it. We're going to win. They were down 31 points, not to just any team, to the world champions, and they still believe. They played hard, give them credit, and they won the game.
We all sat there and watched, and you think about the younger people who are not understanding. In the 90s, you would score 80 points and win a game. 72 points for the Clippers in the last 19 minutes.
Wow.
Against the Golden State Warriors defense, and none was it more prevalent or nowhere could we show it to you better than in the most important play with Landry Shamet, a guy who's shooting about 40% from three, and you can't leave him open, and you got two vets in Iggy and in Draymond, and you leave him open at three-point. I mean, that's at this kind of spot. Take us through defensively, Fish. What happens here in this play?
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication between Thompson and Curry in terms of switching or putting two on the ball. So as Gilgeous-Alexander is penetrating down the middle, Iguodala leaves Shamet to come and stop the penetration. Draymond doesn't expect that because that's not the right thing to do. So Draymond kind of freezes in the lane before trying to get out to Shamet. But the breakdown, I think, happened at the point of contact with the basketball between Curry and Thompson. Even if that breaks down, Iguodala should have stayed home with Shamet, lived with Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe making a floater or a two-pointer in the lane. The game is tied, maybe worst case. Or maybe you're up, you're down one. But to give up the three to Shamet and go down two in that situation, not the right thing to do.
On the positive side, right draft pick for the Clippers. Not bad when you're 19 years old and you get that ball, you go in that position into the paint, draw the defense, see Shamet, presence of mind not to try and do too much, right, Jet, and go make the right pass. But again, defensively, that's where the Warriors create a lot of their turnovers. This time they had turnovers. We're going to talk about Kevin Durant. 22 turnovers in this game for the Warriors. 9 turnovers for Durant. 8 shots, 6 fouls for KD.
Not good at all. But in the fourth quarter, when it's nut-cutting time, Kevin Durant had an opportunity to make a three-point play. They call a charge. They would have went up 6. Now this is still a one-possession game. That primarily would have broke their back, and it gave him his 5th foul. Then you get another foul on an illegal screen. That's his 6th. As you know, KD's one of their closers. They need him to stay on the floor. So now there's 2 games where KD has not finished the game for the Warriors, and it's something that they'll have to address as they go forward. But the other part of it is 22 turnovers for 34 points.
Yeah.
We said it. The Clippers do not have enough talent to beat this team. But the biggest Achilles heel for Golden State all season long has been their turnovers, and it came back to bite them tonight.
Execution wasn't there, sloppy play. And we'll get into this. I mean, look, it's like the Boogie injury was like 3 years ago. He leaves with the quad. But look, we don't even have Boogie before this year. So it's like you can't even use that as an excuse. I know it changes things, Fish. So when you sit there and you're Steve Kerr, is there a positive in some way out of maybe the humbling experience that this group, who maybe was a little bit higher on themselves than they should have been, giving up 85 points to the Clippers in the last 20-plus minutes, 72 in the last 19, is there some kind of positive out of this in terms of, hey, you want to go win a championship, you can be beat if this is how you play?
Yeah, no, for sure. There was a point during the game where we were talking in the back, and I mentioned there's a part of Steve Kerr that's allowing some of the momentum to continue to change because he's hoping that his players start to recognize for themselves that they need to do some things differently in terms of changing what's happening on the court. And it was too late maybe for tonight. But in particular, going after a 3rd consecutive championship, there is no script to it. Even winning game 1, being up 30 in this game, there are still things that this team is going to learn about winning a championship this year, that this experience, it presents an opportunity to grow, to learn, which every player and every team has to go through, no matter how experienced you are. And now they'll get a chance to respond in L.A. in Game 3.
Here